Part 4. You will hear a lecture about the effects of the digital world on young people. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
In today's lecture, I'm going to talk about digital technology, especially the changes occurring due to the rapid spread of digital technology in the last decade of the 21st century. First, what is digital technology? Well, digital technology includes any computer-related devices like mobile phones, the internet, email, instant messaging, and so on. This lecture is based on the opinions of Mark Prensky and what he believes are the main effects that high exposure to digital technology has had on young people today. Prensky believes that because today's young people have been born into a digital world and spent a long time simply playing with technology, they have changed in fundamental ways. He thinks they are evolving differently, and as a result, processing information differently from the last generations. These young people's brains may have physically changed, although no clear evidence exists. Prensky believes that we humans can be divided into digital natives and digital immigrants. Of course, today's young people belong to the group of digital natives because they were born into this new digital age and grew up just as native speakers of the digital language of computer technology. However, digital immigrants are the people born in the generations before the digital age. When people learn a second language, they often retain their foreign accent. It is the same with digital immigrants. They aren't quite as effective at speaking the digital language as the natives are. Prensky illustrates this in detail. For example, instead of using the internet as a primary source of information, digital immigrants prefer finding phone numbers with a phone book or looking up information in an encyclopedia. Prensky refers to this as the digital accent. Another example of the digital accent is scanning a manual for a computer program, but the program itself will teach you how to use it. People with a digital accent always rely on their original non-digital means of sourcing information. They prefer doing things as they've always done, rather than typing something into a computer. Due to this, Prensky predicts it will bring many changes, especially in education. Other educators and theorists, such as Thompson Allen, Samuel James, and Peter Vander, also give their opinions. Samuel James is a famous educator from the University of Sydney. He agrees with Prensky's idea that today's educators are no longer thriving in how they teach. However, some more traditional theorists, like Peter Vander and Thompson Allen, don't agree. They criticize many of Prensky's assertions. Vander argues that a typical classroom is much more different from what Prensky believes, with students from various backgrounds. He believes that many of these students are not necessarily proficient with technology. Then, Allen adds his opinion that even though most students in modern times can access computers at home or school easily, some don't find the digital medium appealing. However, James disagrees. He argues that all today's students share the same basic, interesting knowledge of digital technology. However, even so, James believes that our younger students can communicate with their digital immigrant teachers and still learn with the teaching methods that were quite effective in the past. Alan believes that both digital natives and digital immigrants have to process a large amount of information in today's digital world. He thinks that although most young students today are good at playing computer games or surfing the internet, they use computers in important ways. They are not used to using computers at advanced levels, for example, to carry out complex information searches, which are essential for university study today. Unlike Alan's research, James believes that computer games can play an important role in the classroom. For example, teachers can combine interesting computer games with the lessons to attract students' attention. However, Vander has different opinions. He argues that teachers are always the leading part of the classroom, and no computer program comes close to doing what a human teacher does every day. As a result, we should think of better ways to assist teachers rather than focusing on developing games.
That is the end of Part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to Part 4. Part 4. You will hear a student from the Architecture faculty giving a presentation about houses that are built underground. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
For my presentation today, I will focus on earth-sheltered housing, or underground housing as it's more commonly known. I'll illustrate how it can meet the demands of ecological, environmental planning regarding building and energy resources. Let's first look at the advantages of earth-sheltered housing. Perhaps the most significant merit of earth-sheltered housing is the low impact on the environment, since houses built underground can hardly be seen from the surface. Then, earth-sheltered houses are not only environmentally friendly, but also surprisingly efficient regarding energy. It is because underground housing can make great use of the alternative technologies to improve energy efficiency. Moreover, many earth-sheltered housing projects use natural, non-toxic building materials. Some are even more durable than standard building materials. As a result, earth-sheltered houses have a lifespan of 500 years or more. This type of building technique means less exposure to the outside elements like sunshine, storm, snow, etc. So it can give the houses actual protection and keep the maintenance of the houses to the minimum. Earth-sheltered houses also give people a quiet environment. As we know, noise is a severe problem in modern society, and many people consider moving home because of this. In that case, earth-sheltered houses might be a good choice, because living underground means those people will no longer suffer from the disturbances caused by the traffic on the road. And lastly, earth-sheltered houses also bring significant health advantages to people. Because of the sophistication of the ventilation systems installed in earth-sheltered houses, it provides a comfortable living environment for people who have asthma and other chest diseases. Then let's move on to earth-sheltered housing in the UK. Despite all the apparent advantages we mentioned above, earth-sheltered housing still isn't a popular choice for most British families, as the statistics show. The British Earth Sheltering Association tries to persuade people to try this type of accommodation, saying that it's easier to get planning permission for an earth-sheltered house. In contrast, for a conventional home, there is always too much red tape. A lot of evidence shows that the building development offices are more sympathetic to earth-sheltered projects, especially in the conservation areas. On the sites where conventional houses aren't usually allowed to build, earth-sheltered housing might be a feasible solution. And there is even a possibility that one day earth-sheltered houses can take the place of mobile homes along the coastlines in the UK. In the last part, I'd like to talk about two different projects in the UK, Mole Manor and Hockerton. When it was first built, Mole Manor attracted wide publicity around the world. A newspaper poll conducted by the Earth Sheltering Association showed that Mole Manor was voted as one of the 12 most desirable places to live in the world. Similarly, Hockerton aroused considerable interest from the international media as well, winning several awards for its innovative environmental design. The running cost for Mole Manor is much lower than that of conventional houses. It is because Mole Manor is installed with an effective insulation system, significantly reducing its heating bill, while at Hockerton, all the basic needs of families living there are satisfied by energies in this area. For example, wind power, solar energy and rain are used to generate enough warmth, water for washing and drinking, and electricity for lighting and cooking. As a result, people there can live a lifestyle in harmony with the environment. It is also proved that at Hockerton, earth-sheltered houses can be built on a modest budget, because it gives priority to cost when designing the houses. But it is not the case with Mole Manor, which pays more attention to style than cost. Compared with the homely cottage style at Hockerton, the houses at Mole Manor are expensive, beautiful, and comfortable, and it is said that these houses are worth more than £800,000 today. In conclusion, Mole Manor and Hockerton projects show that earth-sheltered housing has numerous advantages. They can not only provide comfortable and stylish houses to people, but are also beneficial to the environment. And with the help of new energy-saving technology, it can meet all the criteria for ecological and environmental planning.
That is the end of Part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to Part 4.